So this is the chart, okay, for the last 3 days. And, the big thing on the chart right now is the bars. And it's very strange. I've discussed these before because they showed up on the chart on, I believe, January 9th. And I couldn't track, where these were coming from. They do affect the data because you see here the choppiness in the green. It really affects the green the most, it would appear. You have this choppiness here. You can see that white and yellow respond as well, and then secondarily, you've got the very small movements in a red. But really, it's the green that appears most affected. And I don't know what the cause of this is, like I said. Now, the amplitudes and the qualities are very low in this part of the chart. I just want to look at the frequencies. You see, the frequencies are, they are peaking into 25.9 here, which in my view shows strength, and especially in the green, because the green reflects the human condition in my view. Now, the next thing I want to show you, you see the red here? You know what? The red is in a super, super narrow range. Okay, so here's 19.9 to 20.4. So it's just really like in this really tight, narrow. There's little spikes outside of it, but when we get more to the right on the chart, it's very narrow. And what you can see is it's like, hold on, let me get over here. This height is 0.2 hertz. So you can see that this is a very narrow range. Now, this is very interesting. When the resonance has been in this incredibly tight range before, the level of pressure on humanity, from a standpoint of attempting to funnel all of us into a narrative, that's the last time that we saw this. It was in last fall. And the Canadian truckers coming into Ottawa, when they did that and the sort of the human spirit burst forth, that's when this line, this very narrow line, which had extended for months, that's when it broke. And then I had all these videos on Jericho and the walls breaking. The difference here is that the green frequencies are high. I mean, they're at the high end of the range, and they're very flowy, first of all. So they're in kind of a normal flowy pattern. But they're spiking above 25.2. That's my metric that I look at, and I've explained why before. Now, I think that to interpret this chart, and I want to show you the last time that the chart looked like this. It was here. Now, this chart I've reversed because the image was so cool. But you see that? And there was all of this energy that had come forth. And in fact, there were 3 waves on the chart. Let me get the whole chart here. Right here. It was the 7th into the 8th. And then this quote unquote natural energy or other, this wave clearly looks very different. And I mentioned this in my video around January 9th when I did the video. What I did was I took these 3 groups of waves. I call the whole thing together a wave. And I put them together in these incredible patterns. And then I interpreted the energies, and I have a deeper discussion on my Substack of this. I guess I can link that below. So let's just look at the numbers here. Okay, so this is interesting because last time it happened, let's look at the similarities. The red had narrowed to, look at that thin range there, right? You see the very sort of agitated. Look at this. Look at this. down here, down to 23.7, so down at the bottom of the range. So this is possibly into, because the range peaked up to 28 here. So, wow, this was extraordinary. This is between 4 and 12. So let's look at between 4 and 12. Yeah, that's when all the white resonance came in and kind of blew out this pattern. All right, so that pattern happened a lot when green was actually really pressed down, and then it came up. It's interesting because it came down, green came down again but the other pattern disappeared, possibly because it was covered by the rest of the energy, so we just don't know. Isn't that fascinating to look at the differences? You know, we had the similar response in amplitudes, and you can really see it here in the qualities. You know, I'd have to say from the quality response, I almost wonder if that pattern wasn't behind some of this energy, the quality and frequency response. Now, you see here that the qualities peaked at 26 last time in red. You know what? They could be around the same level because one box here is 50 points. So, yeah, they could be at around in the 20s there, definitely. So that's a super interesting comparison. And what I would say about these lines, we've strengthened. Humanity is getting stronger. And that's the good news. Humanity is getting stronger.